Hi, everyone. Good evening to you all. This is Marcia here coming to you another week with CS Bite and a Mouthful, a podcast with a difference. We're talking about education this evening and empowerment of the mind. And in particular, this evening, we want to look at adult education. I mean, we need to empower the mind because if we empower the mind, we are empowering every other part of our bodies and of our environment and everything else around us. And so, joining me live this evening, I have Dominic, and he's the Associate Vice President and the Director of Admission at Pillar College. So, I introduce to you all Dominic. Hi, Dominic. How are you?
I'm doing well, Marcia. How are you tonight?
Awesome. I'm even, more blessed to have you grace our presence this evening. Now,
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
you're more than welcome. As I told you before, I can never pronounce your last name. So I'm going to ask you to tell our viewers out there watching us this evening, because without this program, without our viewers, this program would not be possible. And so we are only here because our viewers allow us into their homes and into their personal spaces. So would you like to tell them specifically your last name?
Yes, my
And
last my
go
last
ahead.
name is Dijo Aquino.
Could you take your time and go again?
That's a mouthful, right? So it's
Yes, it is.
Dominic Dijo Aquino.
Okay. And so I won't try to repeat it. And so I hope our viewers have gotten that in part of the name, the surname, the last name, because I can't pronounce it. I hope you're able to. And so, Dominic, I don't have a bio on you. And so I'm not even going to be going into the bio right now, but I just want you to tell us what and where is Pillar College located? When was this formed? And for what reason and by whom?
So that's a multitasking question, and
Mhm,
it's a good question because we have several locations. Maybe I'll just give you a little history of Pillar College to
mhm,
begin with. So we were actually founded in 1908 in
mhm,
Somerset County, small little township called Zarephath, New Jersey, and we were founded as Zarephath Bible Institute. And we remained a Bible Institute for almost 100 years.
mhm,
In 2001, our president at the time, Pastor Rob Kruger, decided that he wanted to legitimize us. He wanted to turn us into an official college. So he went down to Trenton to apply for a license to operate as a college in the state of New Jersey. And of course, people laughed and said that, that'll never happen. And sure enough, through God's grace, uh, we became licensed and chartered with the state of New Jersey. Then Dr. Kruger said to the Board of Trustees, he said, I'd like to give us some credibility. I'd like to apply for accreditation. And we were allowed, once we were licensed, we were allowed to award associate degrees, but the accreditation would take us to another level. And the accreditation that they applied for at the time was indigenous to who we were, a Bible college. So we applied for a biblical accreditation, ABHE, Association for Biblical Higher Education. And that's the highest level of Bible accreditation that any college in America can have. So that was a 3-year process. In 2004, we were granted full ABHE accreditation, and at that point, we were allowed to start awarding associate degrees.
mhm,
That's when Dr. Kruger decided he had taken us about as far as he was going to take us. He wanted to bring somebody in that had a little bit more experience in higher education, a
mhm,
little bit more experience in college building. So he recommended to the board that they interview Dr. David Schroeder. Now, if anybody in your audience is familiar with Nyack College over the state border in New York, upstate Rockland County to be precise, Dr. Schroeder was the president of Nyack College for many years, one of the most significant presidents in that college's history. When he started as president of Nyack, they had less than 500 students, and when he retired, they had over 3,200 students. So I like to say Dr. Schroeder is a visionary. Dr. Schroeder is a transformational leader. So Dr. Schroeder had recently retired from Nyack. Nyack was the second college he had been president of, and he wasn't looking to be president of a third. So he respectfully declined the interview. But he did share with me years later that about a month went by, maybe a month and a half, and he started feeling a calling, a pull to come to New Jersey and interview for the position. So he called the board, and the position was still open, so they scheduled an interview. He came in with his wife, and he fell in love with the college and decided that he would accept the position, but with two stipulations. Mm-hmm. The first was that Dr. Schroeder is a huge believer in urban education, serving the underserved. So he said, I want to open up a branch campus in an urban area like Newark. So they did that. They came to Newark. They opened up an instructional site. It became a branch campus. And with the flood that Hurricane Irene left behind in 2011, August of 2011, to be more specific, we had our Somerset campus flooded out and wiped out completely. So we had to name Newark our main campus. We moved the Somerset.
May I ask, was Newark your first branch campus?
It was our first branch campus, absolutely.
Okay.
So then after Irene, we named it our main campus, and we moved our Somerset operations to a neighboring township, Warren Township in Somerset County, for the time being. And Newark became the main campus at that point. We eventually reopened in Somerset Township. We actually share a business building with Star 99 Radio, about a mile off of exit 12, Route 287. Then a couple years went by, and I actually came in to help rebuild Pillar College because we literally, our enrollment dipped to dangerous proportions. We almost had to close the doors. And that's when Dr. Schroeder had asked me if I wanted to come in. I had a lot of experience working in higher education prior to that, and particularly recruiting in higher education. So I came on board in 2011. A couple of years, a year went by, and I connected with a pastor friend of mine in Patterson, a very close friend, like a brother to me, Pastor Michael McDuffie, Reverend Mike. And we ended up starting a campus in the city of Patterson. So Patterson Dominic, is a branch campus as well.
Right. And are there any other branch campuses?
And then since then, we've opened up an additional instructional site in the city of Plainfield. Oh. And we are now getting ready to launch our first semester in Jersey City. So we are certainly canvassing the area of Central and North Jersey with the three largest cities in New Jersey, Newark, Patterson, and Jersey City, as well as Plainfield and Somerset.
Okay, awesome. So you have answered about 4 of my questions, even without getting to them.
I have another one to answer, though. So that takes us back to, that was Dr. Schroeder's first stipulation, was to open a branch campus in an urban area, and we've opened several since. His second stipulation was far harder, and that was, while the biblical accreditation is great, particularly if you're a Christian, I think we could probably all be in agreement that in corporate America, graduate school America, real world America, uh, they're not going to view a Bible accredited degree the same way as they would a regionally accredited degree, which is the highest level of accreditation that any college in America can have. It's
Mhm.
what Rutgers has, Seton Hall, Montclair State, Notre Dame, Harvard, and Princeton. So we applied for that in 2005. That was a 5-year process. And in 2010, Pillar College was granted full regional accreditation through Middle States Commission on Higher Education. And again, that's the highest level of accreditation any college in America can have. So that's a little bit of history about Pillar College.
So that's major accomplishment, and that was that all of that happened all because of the vision, you know. So it says that without a vision, our people perish, and so that is what we really need. We need visionaries, you know, people who can see beyond where we are at this moment, and want to take us into the next level. Um, so it states here that your position is VP, Director of Admission. You want to give me a little bit more in-depth knowledge of what your job entails?
Yeah,
With,
absolutely. So
without making me jealous that I'd like to take over the position from you.
yeah, so don't even worry about being jealous because there's nothing to be jealous about. And I appreciate the promotion, but I haven't gotten it. I'm associate vice president.
Okay.
So basically, what I do is I help oversee the enrollment process. And one of the things that I do, I'm very into relationship building, connecting people, connecting Pillar College with other entities such as school districts and businesses and churches and ministries and things like that. So one of the things that I do is I do outreach for Pillar College, and I connect us. We are partners now with several public school districts that we're working with, including Patterson, East Orange, Newark, Irvington, and Belleville. So far, the public school districts that we're working with and have partnered with. So that's one of the things that I do, and then just oversee the admissions process. Making sure that we have the right people on staff working and doing the right job for the right reason, right? Because this is unlike secular admissions work, right? This is more missionary work. This is
Mhm.
finding the people that want to pursue a Christ-centered education. There's certainly a difference between us and the other regionally accredited colleges in the state of New Jersey. In fact, Marcia, Pillar College is the only accredited evangelical Christian college in the entire state of New Jersey. There are no others. We are the only one. I'm not talking Catholic colleges, because at the Catholic colleges, you can receive a 4-year bachelor's degree without ever taking a Bible course. At Pillar College, it doesn't matter if you're a biblical studies major or if you're an elementary education or applied chemistry major. There is still a core set of Bible courses that all students must take to graduate. So we are the only accredited evangelical Christian college in New Jersey.
Oh, that's amazing to hear. I didn't know that. So you see, I'm learning. I think you did mention that to me some time ago, but it's a refreshing information right now. Um, so I just want to engage our listeners and our viewers out there on Facebook Live and on YouTube. The only way that we can know that you're actually here and sharing with us is that you text in, something to us. Just let us know, just a hi, just a wave, something so that we can acknowledge you. And I have my good friend, a past teacher of mine, Annette Campbell Harper, and she's always a supporter of mine since high school until now. And so she is on the live. There are some other persons watching us via live right now. And I'm just encouraging you, for those of us who, especially in mid age, not in our teens and our 20s, but, we are here. We want to do some further studies. I implore you, check out Pillar College. They are amazing. They are awesome. and it's a personal recommendation of mine. But Dominic, this is one of the questions or comments that I've oftentimes heard from my peers. Like when I say to them, I'm going to Pilar College, I'm pursuing, the psychology with them or whatever. And they're like, why? Why a college, Marcia? Why not a university? What is this myth about a college and a university? Is there a difference really? And if so, can you tell us what that is?
The difference is really the size, the number of degrees, the majors that they offer, and the graduate
Mhm.
programs that they offer. Also, the research done at universities is far greater than research done on college campuses. So that's really the only difference between colleges and universities. For so many years, so many great colleges out there, they were colleges, not universities.
Mhm.
The state colleges here in New Jersey, right? Montclair State College, Keene College, William Patterson College, Ramapo College, Glassboro College, turned Rowan College, right? And then they became a university system. They offer more majors. They offer more research at those institutions. So that's the
So
only difference.
that's basically the only difference in that the colleges have maybe a little bit less programs that they're offering and less research that has gone into that institution. Thank you for that information so much. Um, can you speak to as to what is the general application process like and some relevant documents that are needed if one is interested in becoming a student at Pilar College?
Sure. So if I may, I'd like to give out my number, 973.
Okay, I'm going to be putting this in the chat,
Okay.
973
803
803
5000.
5000.
My
Is there an
direct
extension?
extension is 2001, 2001.
2001, and that's Dominic.
And I can help them with that process. Basically, it's a pretty simple, basic process
Mm-hmm.
for the undergraduate degrees that we offer, and those degrees are business administration and management, psychology and counseling, biblical studies,
Mm-hmm.
elementary education, organizational leadership, and applied chemistry. And we also have an associate degree in general studies. So those are the undergraduate
May I
majors.
ask you just to repeat those areas again, please, slowly?
So absolutely. So we have bachelor degrees in psychology and counseling,
Mm-hmm.
business administration and management,
Mm-hmm.
biblical studies,
Mm-hmm.
elementary education to become a
Right.
teacher, applied chemistry,
Mm-hmm.
as well as organizational leadership. Those are
Is
the
Is there anything to do with nursing? I know you spoke about the nothing as yet.
nothing as yet, no.
Okay. I like to
Uh,
say as yet because the possibility exists.
Amen. Absolutely, it
Right?
does. And
Right.
the associate degree that we offer is in general studies.
Hmm.
Then we have two graduate programs, an amazing program, Master
Before
of
you
Arts.
go, can you just give a little bit more information on the general studies
Yeah, so general
program?
studies, that's like a liberal arts degree. So
Hmm.
you have your humanities, your natural sciences, and your social sciences, as well as
Hmm.
the core Bible courses that we offer. So it's
Okay.
more of a liberal arts.
You see, I'm just trying to get as much detail as possible because I'm trying to empower the older minds, the persons who are saying to ourselves that, hey, I'm too old. I'm already over 40. I'm already over 50. My children already has a master's. My children already has a PhD. I can't go back to school. I can't do this. So I just want to take the time just to go through very slowly with them and just so that they have a general mindset as to what the possibilities are. And especially in times like these, when people have had now to be restructuring the mind, retraining the mind, for different things, because so many persons have been, affected by COVID and its effect. And so many persons are now without a job. So many persons are now wondering, where do I go from here? Because this job that I've sat in for the past 30 years, 25 years, I didn't take the opportunity at the time to enhance myself. Now I'm without a job. Where do I start after 20 or 30 years? So we just want to let them know that all is not lost, and that there is a place for them, that they can get the education to reinvent themselves for the world we're currently living in. Um, okay,
So,
your
so,
classes.
so
Sorry,
if
go
I,
ahead.
if I can speak to that.
Hmm.
So one thing about Pillar College, we are an adult-centric college. So anybody out there that's, 30, 40, 50, 60, or even 70 years old would feel very comfortable in our classrooms. The average age of the Pillar College student, and this includes our traditional 17, 18, 19-year-old students, the average age of the student at Pillar College is 43 years old.
Wow.
Okay, so yes, I would say close to 80% of the student enrollment at Pillar College are adult students. Department of Education defines the adult students 25 years and older. So we're talking almost 80% of our student body are adult students. So our students come in and we have specific programs designed for them, right?
Hmm.
We have a program called LEAD, where students that have 48 or more college credits to transfer in, they can come in and take one course at a time, attend class one night a week, and graduate in just 20 months. So that's really amazing, because one of the obstacles that the adult student has about going back to school is that they just don't have the time, right? They've got a professional life, they're working, they've got a family life, they've got a social life, they've got a spiritual life, right? Where are they going to fit time to pursue their education? So the beauty about that program is the LEAD program. They come in, they take one course at a time, they attend class one night a week from 6 to 10 p.m., and they'll graduate in just 20 months. So that's our LEAD program.
Okay. I know prior to COVID, you had in-person classes. What is the status with that now? Is it still in person, or is that now a combination of in person and online?
It's actually right now, everything is online. The governor
Okay.
has the campuses shut down to students, so everything is online. We are hoping for the fall term that we will be allowed to open up our campuses. We're on campus. I'm on the North Campus right now as we speak. The employees and staff, we're here, but our students are not here yet. So we're hoping in the fall that they can come back to the classroom, and we will open our doors with open arms to welcome our students back. However, there are going to be some students, and there may be many students that still don't feel comfortable with COVID. So when we come back, when the doors are allowed to reopen, we're going to come back with a hybrid model. And what that means is that students will have a choice of sitting in the classroom or sitting in their living room and attending that very same class. The instructors will be teaching from the classroom. We have large flat screen TVs for every classroom at every campus. And then the instructor will be teaching those students who are on campus from the classroom, and then the other students are going to be joining live.
Virtually.
Our platform is Blackboard, but it's like a Zoom, right? Where
Mhm.
everybody can see everybody in the class. So they'll have
Right.
still a live interactive experience. It's not your typical online, that we're used to, right? A lot of
Mhm.
self-study. You can post threads and homework assignments through your student portal at 2 o'clock in the morning. This is going to be, it's synchronous versus asynchronous. Synchronous is learning is on time, like we're having this discussion
Right.
right now.
Right.
Asynchronous, you can log in anytime you want
Anytime.
and
Right.
post.
So pretty much you'll be doing a live class. It's
Yes.
just that your physical body's not there, but you are seeing everything in real life performance as we are here now. I have somebody who says, Ashley Cashley says 20 months. That's amazing. That's wonderful. So I think you have a prospective student. So I'm waiting on my commission. My past
And,
teacher,
and,
my
and,
friend,
and please just clarify with Ashley, that's our lead program, our bachelor's degree completion program. So they need 48 credits minimum to transfer in to do
okay,
that bachelor's completion program.
okay, not a problem. And I think you have already answered this question from Annette. She says, can someone with a bachelor's degree attend for a second bachelor degree? If so, would credits be given for prior works?
Yeah, so that's a great question, and I like to answer those questions individually with students one-on-one,
Mm-hmm.
find out exactly why they want to get a second bachelor's degree. To be quite frank, Marcia, I often will advise students that why would you get a second bachelor's degree when in the same amount of time you can pursue and complete your first master's degree? So
Mm-hmm.
the answer to that is yes, you can get a second bachelor's degree. Yes, we would accept all of your general education credits, your humanities, natural sciences, social sciences. So you would only have to focus on your core major courses. The reason why I say the uh, student may be better served to pursue a master's degree. One, the master's degree obviously is that next level higher.
Mm-hmm.
Two, when you are pursuing a second bachelor's degree, you're no longer eligible to receive federal or state grants. Once you have your first bachelor's degree, the only money that you're eligible for are federal student loans.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're going to have to take out student loans, you may as well take those loans out to pursue a master's
A
degree
master's
as opposed to
instead
a
of
second.
another bachelor.
Yes.
Okay, okay, awesome. So we have gotten that. So Annette, I hope that answers your question. If you have a follow-up, I ask you to just drop it in the chat here. Ashley, to answer your question, you need to be coming into this lead course with 48 credits in order to get this 20-month degree program.
Now,
Okay?
Marcia, if I can share as well,
Mm-hmm.
Pillar College is amazing. We are on the cutting edge of higher education. Some of the things that we're doing here, they're not doing at the major universities throughout America. One of the things that we do here at Pillar College is we work with our adult students. We value our adult students and we value their past life learning experiences. So
Mm-hmm.
we have a process called PLA, Prior Learning Assessment, where
Mm-hmm.
when students come in, adult students that have lived, I often tell the story at information sessions, right, about my father when I was younger, when I was going through college my first time around right out of high school. And I was going to college in Pennsylvania, and I'd come home with my roommates or teammates for a weekend now and then. And I remember the one Sunday when we're leaving to go back to college, we're having a big family meal before we get in the car and drive back to Pennsylvania. And my father was telling my roommate about when he was in college. And I laughed. I said, Dad, you were never in college. And he insisted upon it. And then, you ask him, what college did you go to, right? And we all know this. He went to the School of Hard Knocks, right? And you laugh about that. But the fact of the matter is that we as adults, we gain knowledge and wisdom through life experience. So a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people refer to it as life experience credits, but it's actually called PLA, Prior Learning Assessment. So
Mm-hmm.
Marcia, you can actually earn college credits for what you're doing now, public speaking, right? So part of humanity that everybody has to take is public speaking, right? The number one fear in America is not spiders, right, or heights. It's public speaking for adults.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So a person that maybe a pastor who preaches, a salesperson who goes out and gives presentation, somebody like you who has a podcast, speaks publicly, you can submit maybe a 5 to 7 minute video along with a 3 to 5 page research essay on what the experts say about public speaking. And then we would send that to a content review specialist and you would receive 3 college credits accordingly. And you wouldn't have to take public speaking in the classroom, right? So that's just one example of life experience credits, or PLA. So our adult learners, they can actually accelerate their program, graduate in less time for less money by utilizing some of their past life learning experiences.
And you know, it's funny you say that, Dominic, because um, last year with COVID coming around, and you know, I work as a newborn care specialist. So a lot of my jobs were now either asking me to come in to live in full time, 24 hours, and I just did not want to do that. And so I started asking myself, how can I reinvent myself? And so I looked into areas that I already had knowledge and experience. I looked into going into real estate because I had already worked 16 years in a construction company back home, you know, so I had some knowledge of real estate and construction and all of that. And so it amazes me that when I did the program, I actually realized that I was gaining 20 college credits. And I also did the life insurance because I am a life insurance agent with New York Life. I also got 20 credits from those courses. And in doing the courses, I realized that they were challenging. You know, it was 3 months of grading, or it was the amount of time that you could put into it. But it was dedicated work. And so when I realized that it came with 20 credit, I was, wow, now I understand why.
Yes.
So as you talk about, you know, life experiences, this is awesome information. So let me ask you, Dominic, what is the most credit? I mean, has anybody ever applied to your school and then when you've put all the maybe accreditation that they have done previously, an associate, a diploma, life experiences, what's the maximum credit that one can get? And what's the amount of credit needed for graduation? And what's the maximum you've ever gotten?
Well, here's the thing. That's a great question, and what you're asking really is you're wording it a little bit differently. What
Mm-hmm,
is the residency requirement at Pillar College? So here's how
mm-hmm,
it works. In the state of New Jersey, you need 120 credits to graduate with a bachelor's degree. Okay.
right. Mm-hmm.
So most colleges will have what's called a residency requirement.
Right.
And that doesn't mean living in the dormitories, right?
Mm-hmm,
What it
mm-hmm,
means is taking classes with them, right?
mm-hmm.
So in other words,
The
you know,
minimum amount of credit that you can do to
yeah,
come,
so
right.
we'll use New Jersey's largest state university, Rutgers.
Mm-hmm,
So I have 110 credits from ABC University. I
mm-hmm.
want the big name college. So I transfer 110 credits to Rutgers and take 10 credits with them and have a bachelor's degree from Rutgers University. It doesn't work like that. They will require you to take a minimum 60 credits with them. And most colleges do. They require a minimum of 60 credits with them. So if you went, and a lot of our adult learners, they've been to 2, 3, 4, even more. I'm not exaggerating, I've had a student that had been to 9 previous colleges before he came to Pillar. And if you have that student, when you transfer around a lot, you're going to get a lot of credits and you're going to lose a lot transferring in and out, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have a residency that you take. The residency at Pillar College is 39 credits. So we will accept up to 72 credits, 39, I'm sorry, 71 credits with Pillar College. You have to do 39 with Pillar College, basically. Okay.
Wow. How is it you're so generous?
Because, you know, we are a small private college and we've
Mhm.
got to be more accommodating to the adult learner. You know, the bulk of our student enrollment are adult students. So it's not like they haven't taken accredited courses. We will not accept any courses from an unaccredited college, right?
Mhm.
And there's a lot of them out there. We will not, you know, we accept only transfer credits from legitimate accredited colleges. And we will not accept anything less than a C grade or better. So they've taken the courses, they've passed the courses, and we will give our students the credit for that. Now they have to fall in the right places. They have to fill in, the humanities and the natural sciences and the social sciences. And
Mm-hmm.
then when they come here, they have to take their core major. And if they're taking their core major, they even have to have some of those credits transferring in. If it's, say, psychology and counseling, maybe they've taken abnormal psych, an intro to psych at another school, and they
Mm-hmm.
transfer in. So if everything falls in line perfectly, and I've had several students receive that many credits where they had 39 to go when they got here.
Okay, that's amazing. That's just awesome. But speaking about that, because as you know, I'm a Jamaican, right? And I hoot hoot to my Jamaican persons watching. So I have quite a number of my Jamaican friends and associates who are actually watching this program live as we speak. And you spoke earlier on about the online process now that you're moving more towards, that you're currently online 100%, but come like September when school reopens, you are looking at doing an integration kind of a thing where it can be either online or in person.
Yes.
For persons, I'm thinking now that the opportunities are greater because people will no longer be needing now to be getting a study visa to come to college here. I think opportunities, new doors are being opened. Are you now accepting international applications,
We,
especially the
we,
fact that you are a Christian based college? Are you now open to more international applications?
we've always been open to international students. So
Okay.
the answer is yes.
Hmm.
The other
Do you think it will make it a little bit easier now because people no longer have to be looking for work and study visa or study visas, or do you think that people will be more inclined now to be making more international application to colleges and universities?
I do, absolutely, because uh, the American degree is still coveted around the world. So I
Hmm.
do see online education opening up to more and more international students. There's still a lot of international students that come to the United States because they want that experience here. But yes, I do, and we are opening up. We've been approved now for complete online degrees at Pillar College as well. So I certainly believe, particularly in areas where, we do, and our president, Dr. David Schroeder, just an amazing individual, does a lot of missionary work overseas, and certainly see a lot of doors opening up once we have all of our programs online. Currently, we have everything online because of COVID, but even without COVID, we just been approved for our first online degree completion program, business administration and management. And once you have your first one, the rest are kind of like rubber stamps. You need to be approved for online. You need to have an online platform like Blackboard, which is our online platform. It's the number one online platform in America, and we have their premium product. So we are, ready, willing, and capable to do online students throughout America and international. Now, Marcia, I do want to share with you because you mentioned that you have, many friends back in Jamaica, and some of them may be coming to America. Some of them, whether it's Pillar College or any other college, right? Knowledge is power. Right? I tell my admissions counselors that all the time. The more you know about higher education, and the more you know about the enrollment process, the admission process, the more power that you have, the more that you can help lift others up, that you can reach out and pull others, not just to your level, but to a level higher than you've ever dreamed of achieving. So, one of the things that I want to share with your audience today is the fact that international students that have started the college process or even completed the college process in their home country, when they come to the United States, they can turn them into U.S. college credits. And the process is pretty simple. What you need to do is you just need to have an official copy of your transcripts evaluated by an accredited evaluation service. So one of them that I typically share with people, and it's kind of like the gold standard of evaluation services, called WES, World Educational Services. And basically what they would do is they would have their official college transcript. Now, the college must be accredited in their home country, and they would have their official college transcript sent to WES, ask for a course-by-course evaluation, and WES would do an evaluation and tell them, if they attend college in the United States, exactly how many credits that they would earn. There's a lot of people, and we have a large Hispanic population here as well at Pillar College. There's a lot of our students that come to Pillar College that have an associate degree, from Dominican Republic or someplace in Latin America, and they can come in and get that associate degree accredited here through an accredited evaluation service, and basically have 2 years to go to complete their bachelor's degree. Many of them have a bachelor's degree in their home country, and they come to America and they don't even realize it. They think, well, they have to start over here. And my advice to them would be the same advice that I gave that student earlier. You don't need to get another bachelor's degree. You can use your bachelor's degree from Jamaica to join a graduate program, again, whether it's at Pillar College or any other college in America, as long as an accredited evaluation service reviews that and awards that degree as an accredited bachelor's degree in the United States. So I think that some of your friends may be interested. Probably many of them have college credits and even degrees in Jamaica, and may want to have that transferred over to the United States.
Okay, that's awesome, Dominic, because you see, you are going ahead of even some of my questions. But thank you for that information on the transcript, because that was a question I was coming to. But as you said, a lot of people have those credits. They have, all of that knowledge and experience and training under their belts, but they come here and they don't realize that it's beneficial to them. Question though, Dominic, continuing on your transcript, does transcript, do they expire? I mean, you have your credits. Say I did some amount of college training maybe 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And I'm interested now in registering into Pillar College or any other institution of higher learning. Are these credits still good? Are they still applicable?
Yeah, that's a great question. Do credits expire? And that's a college to college type thing. But I've been working now, Marcia, in higher education for 39 years. This is my 39th year working in higher education. I got a pretty good feel, a pretty good grasp of what's going on in the field. And I can tell you this, that most colleges, their undergraduate credits will not expire, right? So, let's say you went to college, 40 years ago, right?
Mhm.
Well, 40 years ago, English Composition 1 was the same as it is now, right?
No.
College algebra hasn't changed. History of the Civil War hasn't changed. So undergraduate credits at most colleges in America, maybe some of the quote unquote self-seeking elite colleges, they say we won't accept it, but most colleges will accept credits, undergraduate credits from any accredited college, within 20, 30, 40 years, right? So that they're in good shape. However, graduate credits tend to have an expiration date. And again, that will vary from college to college, but typically 7 to 10 years expiration date. At Pillar College, it is 10 years. So graduate credits, they do have an expiration date typically.
Okay, so for my friend Angie, you're listening. So you're currently into your graduate studies. So you know that you have up to at least 10 years to use up those credit, girl. And it says, this is great information. When I came to America, I started all over, even though I was teaching back home at high schools, and she had her credit, her college credits. So, I mean, I'm just so happy that I'm able to share knowledge and information to empower our minds. So we spoke about the transcript. We spoke. So, Dominic, today we celebrated a very special, and I just want to interface once again with my listeners here on Facebook Live, watching via YouTube. Just sending a hi. If we are giving you information that you think is useful, just let us know. Give us a thumbs up, something just to let us know that you are in this with us, because this program just would not be possible, and you are the reason why we are here this evening. Today is actually being celebrated as International Administrative Professional Day. In years gone back, we said it was Professional Secretaries Day, and it was a day that, secretaries, we all, dolled up and we dressed up and we went to the office and we look forward to getting that nice gift basket. And, hopefully that the day will be a little bit lighter. Bosses would take ourselves for lunches and stuff like that. So, is there anybody, whether it be in your organization, in your family, somewhere along the walk of life, that you would just want to give a shout out, a hi to, just to say, the day ends at 12 midnight, so you can still wish them well.
Well, I give all my family and friends a shout out, but my number one shout out at any time of any moment of any day is my godson Matthew. And I always, anytime I get the opportunity, I shout out to him. He's turning 5 in July, and he is the love and the light of my life. So a shout out to my godson.
Okay, okay. I hear you. So, I mean, we're talking about you now and your current position as assistant. I will not forget that part of it. Assistant
Associate.
VP, associate, right? And question, you said that you had been working in different colleges, different positions, and hence that is why you came into Pillar College to give it that boost that it needed. But I'm sure that you did not start out in a high profile, job from get go. What can you say to someone about the process of, just climbing the ladder in the corporate world? What can you say to someone? What kind of encouragement can you give?
Everybody wants to start at the top. That I know,
Mhm.
and unfortunately, it doesn't happen that way. Everybody wants, it's a microwave society now, right? They want instant gratification. They want the, instant high salary and all of that. And I tell people all the time, I started out as a college coach, right? And I started out as an assistant coach and became a head Division I coach at a major university. And I tell people all the time, I used to tell my wrestlers, I was a college wrestling coach, and I would tell them, be careful what you wish for because it might come true, right?
Mhm.
So everybody thinks that being the head coach is so prestigious and so elite and so much fun, but all the fun is as an assistant coach. It's you're working with the students more. And I even tell the people in administration, whether it's here or any other college, right? The higher up that you climb the ladder, right? So you start off, working at Pillar College, let's say, as an admissions advisor, admissions counselor, and then you get promoted to assistant director and associate director, and then you're director of admissions, and then get promoted to, assistant vice president, associate vice president, and deans and all of those type of things. And I tell people all the time, the higher up that you climb in education, and I'm sure it's the same thing in the corporate ladder. I've been working my entire career in higher education. And in higher education, I can speak specifically to the higher up you climb, the further away you get from the reason you got into education in the first place, the students. And you've heard the term on college campuses, right? The ivory tower, that theoretical, ivory tower. And sadly, so many college presidents, and not ours, our college president has his finger on the pulse of our students, and he engages with our students. He even teaches at least one class, sometimes two classes a year to stay engaged with the students. But so many college presidents and so many college vice presidents and COOs, they climb to the top of the ivory tower and they don't have a clue what's going on with their student body. And that's one of the reasons for our successes. Our president, our COO, our vice presidents, they engage with the students. They're on first name basis with our students. And they really love what they do. And to me, that's what makes Dr. Schroeder so successful. That's why he's able to come to a small Christian college like Pillar College and help us grow and be one of the two fastest growing colleges in the state of New Jersey right now because he is engaged.
Okay, so he is still attached, not detached. Okay, that's awesome. Um, we are in the period. It's a new environment for us that we're living in. I mean, in my 50s, I never knew I would live to see something like this, that I'd be living in an era like this. So COVID has really been impacting on us in all areas, in all societies. Class, there's no barrier. Um, I spoke earlier on about jobs and the persons having now looking to be reinventing themselves, going back into the work environment. What do they now do after, all these years of sitting in one job, not really elevating themselves? Are there any short courses that you offer that can help persons displaced who might want to be looking at going back into the job environment, but wanting to, you know, just boost themselves a little bit without, going into a master's or an associate? Do you have any such thing planned?
We offer now and then we will offer certificate programs like coaching, things like that. We're going to be rolling out a project management certification, right? So yeah, we periodically do offer those. We're excited about the project management that we'll be rolling out. Project management is a concentration within our business degree, but we're also going to be offering a project management certification as well for those individuals that are in the field, but that want to get certified in that area.
Okay, so what if the person is not in the field? Because I mean, now persons have got to be now looking at different things. How can we get back into the work world, a little bit more than we came out? Because I believe that, in everything that we do, in every phase, we should be at an advantage, at least a little leg up. What if the person does not have that kind of experience, but is looking for new ventures? Is this something that they can enroll in?
Well, yeah, again, we have several that we offer from time to time. Certifications, that's not really what we do here. We have a number of them from time to time, but really, we issue degrees here. We offer degree programs, associates, bachelor's, and master's degrees. But again, Pillar College may not be for everybody, but there are colleges out there that do have certification programs, licensing programs, like you're a licensed real estate agent, right? So,
Mhm.
those types of programs, you don't have to, Pillar College, if we don't have them, there are other schools out there that have them. So again, education is power, and you don't have to get it. There's not one, educational institution that's perfect for everybody, right? So you just find the program, the institution that's right for you and right for your needs.
Okay, awesome. And I know you're a very helpful person. So I know if someone calls and speak with you and you don't offer, what they need, that you will, assist them as best as possible, point them in the right direction. So I have two follow-up questions coming from Annette. And one is, does Pilar College offer job assistance after obtaining a degree? Well, I don't know why she's asking that, because I think she's just trying to ask on behalf of other persons. And the other thing is, are there any internship program opportunities?
Yeah, absolutely, we do. We have a lovely young lady, Ingrid Ortiz, that handles um, the career assistance, career placement and assistance. So we do that here at Pillar College. And, as far as the internships, yeah, we do have interns working here at Fuller College, and we have partnerships with others where our students go out and do internships at other areas. We have an intern right now in our HR office that is a student that will be graduating next month from Rutgers University, and he's interning with us in our HR office. So yeah, we do have internship opportunities here as well.
Okay, great. Um, so Annette says, I'm just asking for others, as I know she was. Um, so I noticed that on your website, because I've been doing a little browsing on your website, that you have an appeal.
Well, I believe we lost Marcia for a
No,
moment.
I'm here.
Okay.
I'm here.
Okay.
I don't know why I keep flipping in and out. So I noticed on your website that you have an appeal going for persons in need, um, as it relates to COVID. Is this for students or for the general public?
I'm sorry. Ask me that question again.
I said I noticed I saw something on your website about some appeal for public assistance for persons impacted by COVID. Is this on your website?
Yeah, I think what you're talking about, and I don't go on uh, scanning our website too often. I'll often man the live chat in our Pillar website, but I believe what you may be talking about is the COVID relief assistance that students are receiving from the government. So yes, our students did receive the full packages from the government that were offered. So it was a great benefit to our students. Over the past year, they've received several disbursement checks due to COVID. Yes.
Okay, that's wonderful to hear. So, can I just ask you, just to recap, for persons listening and who are thinking, I'm too old, I can't do this thing, I went to college last 40 years ago, can you just reiterate to them, and just take them once again through the process and the different courses you offer and the different time frame, and just to give them that encouraging word that will, help them to make up their mind that, yes, I can do this thing?
Yeah, what I would tell that student that's kind of on the fence, I don't know if if I've had the time. I don't know, if maybe I'm too old, if time has passed me by, and the answer is you're never too old to empower yourself with knowledge. As I was sharing with you, uh, prior to the program, right? I'm 64 years old, and I am in the process of defending my dissertation on Friday, my dissertation proposal. So I practice what I preach. I do believe that education is power. The more I learn, and quite frankly, my doctorate degree is in educational leadership with a concentration in higher education. And it's not so that I can get a teaching job or get a job somewhere else. It's so that way I have more knowledge and I have that degree behind me that I can make a difference, a greater difference in my community, and prayerfully a greater difference in society. And I just think it's so critical, when you talk about education, the value of education. The late great President Nelson Mandela once said, education is the most powerful weapon we can use to change the world.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, with all due respect to the late great president, I have tacked on an addendum whenever I speak. I like to add this, that education is great, but when you look at America today, when you look at society today, so many of our leaders in America are well educated, right? Our politicians are well educated oftentimes, right? And I don't want to get political here, but in my opinion, our politicians are part of the problem in America and in society. So I think it's more than an education is the most powerful weapon we can use to change the world, but a Christ-centered education, right? before I found Christ 12 years ago, I was well educated, had a master's degree, was teaching college, coaching college, and doing very well. But I was part of the problem in society. And I believe that once I found Christ and got involved with Pillar College, I believe now I'm more of a part of the solution than I was a part of the problem. So I truly believe that if you want to make a difference in your community, if you want to be able to go out there and lift up others, nothing can help you more than an education. And again, I'm not trying to sell Pillar College. I'm trying to sell higher education. If you have a high school degree, get an associate degree or get a bachelor's degree. If you have a bachelor's degree, get a master's degree. If you have a master's degree, pursue a doctorate degree and get your doctorate degree. So I just think that for that person that's on the fence that doesn't know if education going to college is for them, just look at where you are right now and make a determinant. Are you happy where you are? Are you comfortable with the way you're living, with your salary? Are you comfortable with the way you feel? And it's not just the salary, but I tell people all the time, and I was sharing this with you earlier, I'm not getting my doctorate degree to go out and get a better job. I'm getting my doctorate degree because it is a personal goal of mine. When I was a 17-year-old or 18-year-old high school senior in 1974, I had my guidance counselor. I got a full scholarship to go to college in Russell. My guidance counselor called me down to her office, and I thought she was going to congratulate me. And she said, Dominic, why are you going to college? And I said, excuse me? And she said, why are you going to college? You're going to be taking up a spot from somebody who deserves to be there. And that was 1974, and I remember that like it was yesterday, right? So to me, this is more of a personal goal. And I do believe that it will open more
Dominic,
doors.
Dominic, I don't mean to, but let me ask you, what did she mean by that? Was she saying that you were not good enough to go into college?
Yeah,
And if so,
absolutely.
why? Why would she
Absolutely.
say that?
Well, I wasn't the greatest high school student. I did enough to get by. I was a great high school wrestler and won a state championship and a national championship in high school. And she felt that the athletes, and you remember what they called athletes back then, right? I won't use the word, but it was a derogatory comment towards athletes, and she didn't feel athlete. That was the perception back then of athletes, right? In the 60s and 70s, the perception was that they weren't intelligent, right? So she didn't think I deserved to be in college. And I coached college wrestling for 21 years, and I've shared that story with thousands of individuals, be it at banquets or camps, wherever I was, or even in the field of now recruiting in higher education. I've shared that story over the years with thousands of people. And Marcia, I cannot tell you how many people have told me, I'm sure there's people in your audience right now, have told me that they were told the same thing by their guidance counselor or one of their teachers or one of their coaches, or even, God forbid, one of their family members, that you're not college material, you're not smart enough. I had a colleague that I sat next to for 4 years in the admissions here. I'll give a shout out to my good friend, Pastor Walter Howard. And Pastor Howard played college football, University of Wyoming. They won a Fiesta Bowl. Back when he was in college, he played for the Philadelphia Eagles for a year. And when he was a senior in high school, his guidance counselor told him that he should forget college. He should go to a tech school because he's good with his hands. He ended up playing in the NFL and was a tight end. He was certainly good with his hands catching the football, but he also had a bachelor's degree, right? So many of these people out there that you think are allies that are supposed to be, they're being paid. High school guidance counselors are being paid to help foster your education. And yet they're not trying to lift you up. They feel better about putting you down because it makes them feel better. So I tell that person that's been told that they can't do it, that nobody knows what they can do or can't do but them and God. And I tell them that God has planted a seed inside of them, a graduation seed, hundreds of billions of years ago, right? And that seed has been sitting in their heart, and it's up to that person if they're going to allow it to sit there and just fester, or if they're going to water that seed and nourish it and
And
allow
let
it
it
to turn
grow.
into a bachelor's degree and master's degree and doctorate degree. And if they want to let it sit there and not pursue higher education, that's fine. That's absolutely, my sister never went to college. That's fine. But do it because you're okay with it. Don't, if you're not going to college because somebody's telling you you're not worthy, you're not smart enough, you're too old, don't allow it. They don't know what you are capable. Only you know, and God knows. Sometimes you don't even know, but God knows what you're capable of. So
But
I tell people that if you feel that you're led, if you feel that somebody, if God is leading you to Pillar College, if God is leading you to another university or college, then listen to him because he doesn't make mistakes, and take that walk. And last on this point, what I'll say is that everybody has the ability to graduate college. I'm not saying everybody has the ability to graduate every college, but there's a college out there for everybody. And I'm
honey,
not speculating. I have objective evidence because next month there's going to be thousands of people across America graduating college with a bachelor's degree or master's degree or doctorate degree that can't see, where they can't talk, where they can't hear, where they can't walk, or maybe they have kidney problems, or maybe they're suffering from cancer. And yet God has planted that seed and they're graduating college. Helen Keller couldn't see, hear, or talk, and she was brilliant. So don't allow anybody to tell you what you can and cannot do.
amen, amen. I say a big hallelujah to that. But Dominic, I have, some friends, other persons who have joined us, and we have Latoya Patterson, love the information. Andrew Doherty says, it's just giving us, and it says great encouragement. It's called self-actualization. I don't know, you remember our prior, just before we came on, I was talking and I was saying to you that self-actualization is probably why we need to do that degree. Angela Carr, she's there support, and Patricia is giving us some thumbs up and some fist. But we think that it's only in certain society that our students are looked down and spoken down to. I mean, I remember as a child in maybe grade 3, or maybe I was maybe about 7 or 8, that I had a teacher who told me I would not come to anything, only to realize, when I thought that I was the only one that she was telling this to, only to realize now that I'm older and meeting up with, other students that we shared classes with her, that as long as you were dark skinned like I was, you just were not going to be coming out to anything. She didn't see anything in a dark skinned person. And it's funny, it's sad, because just as how you can recall blow by blow every word she said, and I'm probably sure you can almost be looking at her features now when she's talking and saying those things to you. It's the same kind of memory that is coming back to me. But then I remember when I got to grade 7, and I will forever, every opportunity that I get, recall this. In addition to my grandmother, who was there boosting me along each day, because every day I was the best thing ever since sliced bread for her. But in addition to my grandma boosting me, I remember my grade 7 teacher, Mrs. Gidden, telling me that I'm going to be a great entrepreneur. All because I was able to sell some oranges, and I just kept selling the oranges. And she spoke a word into me. And it's funny that for years I kind of just laid it dormant. But then I now realize, and I'm picking back up on that. That word of encouragement, of empowerment that you speak into a child's life, it's a lasting effect. I remember a lecturer, Mrs. Williams, she spoke a phrase to me, I think it was in 1992, I was in class, and something happened, and she said, listen this, let me tell you, never let anyone define you. She said, is a word, okay, I'll come back to it. A word is never dead as long as there is. All right, I'll come back to it. I'll recall it in my mind and I'll come back to it. But I just wanted this evening and to be empower our marginalized group, because I won't say it's just that we're marginalized, because the honest truth of the matter, Dominic, is that if you're honest, you will know that we are marginalized, not because we don't have the ability, not because we are not brilliant, not because people don't see the potential with us, but that people think that we are always to be beneath and not above or not equal to. And so we're not given equal opportunities, right? And so this evening, I want to speak to the marginalized group, us, the Hispanic, the Africans, wherever you are, the immigrants, wherever you are. I'm speaking to you this evening. Empower yourself. Okay, education is empowerment, and empowerment is growth and ability. Empower yourself. Here is an opportunity for you to reach out to Pilar College, for you to get vital information, for you to make better of yourself today and tomorrow than you are doing now. And we are being joined by Sandy and Bones TV from YouTube. Thank you so much for joining us, and for all the others who are here. So I'm saying to us, it's always good when someone can give us a fish, but let's stop taking the hands out. Let's ask them, are you willing to teach me how to catch my own fish instead of handing me a fish? This is what I'm throwing out to us this evening. It's all good and well we're receiving, but learn how to do our own fishing. You spoke earlier on about some special fundings that had become available to students, COVID relief. Is there anything else that you can, add to this? What about the person who is saying, I really want to go back to school, but I can't afford it? What is there for them to help them financially?
So that's a great question because I've been working in adult higher education for quite a number of years now, and there's two common themes for the adult learner, the obstacles why they can't go, and that's time and money, right?
Mhm.
So I don't have the time to do it. Well, we've addressed that with our adult program lead, Life Enhancing Accelerated Degree. Take one course at a time, attend class one night a week, and graduate in just 20 months with a minimum starting 48 credits.
Right.
So we've addressed that. We've also we addressed that financial issue. And I tell my admissions counselors when I train them, never shy away from the finances, from the costs, because that's going to come out sooner or later, and you need to address the issue. So to attend college, there's going to be a cost. There's going to be a cost factor. But what are you investing in, right? People are very willing to go out and invest $20,000 or $25,000 to buy a piece of metal with four tires on it and drive around, right? But are they willing to invest in their future? Are they willing to invest in their family's future, their children's future? And that's what you're doing when you're going to college. You're investing time and money to make a better life, not just for you, but for your family. But practically speaking, yes, Pillar College is an affordable college. We are $22,000 a year is our tuition and fees. We are a little bit more expensive than the state colleges because they're obviously state funded. However, we're the least expensive four-year private college in the state of New Jersey. And if a student wants to pursue a degree, then there are finances available to them. So again, because of our regional accreditation, our students are eligible to apply for federal financial aid and state financial aid by completing a FAFSA application, a free application for federal student aid. And that application will determine for the government, for federal and state, how much aid that you're allowed to get. So as an example, a federal Pell Grant, a maximum Pell Grant you can receive from the state of New Jersey at Pillar College is $5,850, right? A maximum for that maximum need, a state student that lives in New Jersey and going to school in New Jersey, the maximum NJ TAG grant, New Jersey Tuition Assistance Grant, would be $12,600. Then Pillar College will offer an additional $3,500 on top of that. So oftentimes, many of our students, they don't even know it, but they would be able to go to college for free because the federal government and the state of New Jersey and Pillar College would give them enough grants. And grants are monies that you do not have to pay back, right? There's also student loans involved. And I'll often hear from students, no student loans for me. But those same students, again, will go out and take a $20,000, $30,000 loan out for a car, right?
Right. And be paying $600 and $700 and $800 a month.
Absolutely. The other thing I want to share with you is for those Christians out there that want to delve deeper into the Word of God, one of the things our president, I know I talk a lot about our president, and I'm sure he's not listening out there, so it's not like I'm being condescending to him. I just have the world of respect for Dr. Schroeder. And one of his beliefs is that there is a dearth of biblical literacy in America today. And I don't think that's any earth-breaking news, right? I mean, we're getting further and further away from Christ as a society, as a nation, not allowing Christ anywhere anymore. You can't even mention his name in the public schools. You can't even mention his name in public colleges. And if somebody does, they're attacked by their professors. So at Pillar College, we believe in biblical literacy, promoting biblical literacy. So what Dr. Schroeder has done is, along with our board of trustees, an amazing group of individuals, they have created a very special scholarship for those individuals who want to become biblical studies majors, okay? And that scholarship, right off the top, they would receive up to $15,000 of the $22,000 in a biblical studies scholarship. So in other words, there's only 7,000
education.
more. Now now all they need is a few thousand from the feds and the state, and they're going to college. They're like that quarterback for the University of Alabama. They're on full scholarship, right?
Right.
So that's a great opportunity. And I tell students that this is not the biblical studies degree. It's not a certificate, a Bible certificate, right? This is a regionally accredited bachelor's degree that will get you anywhere, pretty much anywhere you want to go. If you want to go to graduate school, we've had individuals, a number of individuals, graduate Pillar College with a bachelor's degree in biblical studies that have went to major universities and pursued a master's degree, a master's in business or an MBA in business management. So we've had a number of students. This is a regionally accredited. Marcia, when you apply for a job, right, that post will often say bachelor's degree required or bachelor's degree preferred. They don't ask you, what is your bachelor's degree in, right? What they want to know, do you have a regionally accredited bachelor's degree? Now, if it's a field like teaching where you have to be licensed, nursing where you have to be licensed, that's one thing. But, in the field of business, if you're going to go work in corporate America, right? If you're going to go work, I'm sitting in my office right now looking out the window of the world headquarters directly across the street for Prudential. If you're going to go work for Prudential, right? The first thing that when you start work, if you get hired, when you start work, what's the first thing that they're going to do the first 2 or 3 weeks or 4 weeks? They're going to train you to do business Prudential's way. They want to know, are you teachable? Are you trainable? Do you have that regionally accredited bachelor's degree? And that's what that biblical studies degree can do, but it's also going to get you deeper into the Word of God. It's also going to prepare you to minister in corporate America, right? It's like our elementary education degree, right? I hear people all the time, they're asking me, Dominic, when I get your teaching degree from Pillar College, do I have to teach at a Christian school? And my answer is, we have enough Christians teaching in Christian schools. We need Christians teaching in the public schools, not preaching Christ, but teaching from a Christ likeness, right? So that bachelor's degree can take you a long way. And for that student that can't afford to go to college because they're not getting enough federal grants, they're not getting enough state grants, and maybe they're too deep in the debt with student loans. If they want to do it, they can do it. They can major in biblical studies and get that $15,000. And that means if you come in as a freshman with no credits and it's going to take you 4 years to graduate, that's 4 years times $15,000. That's $60,000. So it's a great opportunity. So there is no excuse anymore for a student that wants to graduate college with a bachelor's degree, at least if they come to Pillar College, they've got every opportunity to do it.
You know, Dominic, I think you are actually looking at my screen. I think you're seeing something that I have not yet made you privy to, because you seem to answer one question, and with that one question, you lead into so many others of my upcoming question. Because that was one of the questions that I had coming up for you about a full scholarship and how this could be acquired. Um, but looking back over the years that you have been into education, Dominic, is there one particular student who pops out at you? Maybe you can't call the name, but you can certainly give us an idea, pinpoint ideas as to why this one particular person is made an impact on you.
Yeah, of course, and it's funny. I do live talks with Pillar on Tuesday afternoons, and typically interview a program chair of one of our majors every Tuesday at 1 o'clock. You can find us on the Pillar College Facebook page, and 1 o'clock Tuesday afternoons. This Tuesday, I'll be interviewing Professor Cindy Weaver, soon to be Dr. Cindy Weaver, that heads up that lead program. So if you want to hear about this adult program, join us on Tuesday at 1 o'clock. And one of the questions that I ask is, if you can give a shout out, to one of your students that have inspired you as an instructor or as an educator, who would that be? And it's kind of like asking the person, you got 4 children, which one's your favorite, right? So, I've got so many students, and I've been to several colleges, working at several colleges over the years. I have so many students that are just, one favorite after another after another. If I look back to my coaching career, I had a heavyweight named Doug that, he wasn't the greatest student in the world, but he bought into the system, and he decided that he was going to graduate, and it took him 6 years to do it. But he graduated, and to graduate college with an undergraduate degree, you need a minimum of 2.00. And Doug graduated with a 2.00. And the amazing thing is, Doug came from an affluent family. They had some money, but he graduated, and so many of his buddies and friends that he went to school with did not. And when he graduated, and so many of his teammates graduated with much higher degrees, right? And yet he's probably the most successful, financially most successful student I have ever enrolled. I recruited him as a coach, but he's probably the most successful financial. I had another wrestler that came in, and he couldn't get into college because of his grades and SATs. So I got him in with an athletic slot, right? He just didn't test well. A lot of people suffer with test anxiety. He just didn't test well. He ended up coming in, graduating with honors. He ended up teaching for a few years at the local high school. And then he ended up getting his principal certification, and he became principal of the very high school he graduated from, where he couldn't get into most colleges. So he's now the principal at the very high school, and his children are teaching at that high school. So I didn't just impact him, but I impacted his family. I had another student that I coached, another wrestler, that I met up with him years later. And I was during the summer, when I was doing my summer camps down in Bucks County, Pennsylvania, and I was going to the 7-Eleven to bring back some coffee for my staff. And this biker guy was, coming out of the 7-Eleven, and he recognized me, and we talked, and he invited me to his home, and I went to his home, his beautiful home in Bucks County, pool with a waterfalls, and we're sitting in the back having some pizza in the backyard, and then he went to pick up some more pizza, and I said to his wife, "What a beautiful home you have, and your children are beautiful, and especially your 8-year-old son, or 10, I think he was 10 at the time. your 10-year-old son, Dominic, and he even spells it the right way, Dominic, without the K. And she looked at me and she said, Dominic, he named them after you. And I had
Wow.
no idea. And just those types of students and student athletes that just impact you for the rest of your life. I mean, I remember those guys like it was yesterday, and just it's been a great ride. And I talked about my godson, and we talked about lifting others up, and God has placed me in his life and him in my life. And his mother was a student of mine, and when she became pregnant, she asked me to be the godfather. And to me, there's no greater honor than being the godfather to this child. And I tell him all the time how great he is, how much I love him. And I tell others, and I don't want to lift him up. And I've been very successful in my life. I've had many downturns, as all of us do, but I've had a lot of successes, both academically, athletically, professionally. And I do not want my godson to achieve what I've achieved. I don't want him to achieve 10 times what I've achieved. I want him to achieve thousands of times, thousands of things more than I've ever dreamed of achieving. And my godson is, he's an African American. He's Haitian American, actually, his mother and he. And I got to tell you, I just truly believe, you mentioned one teacher who put you down with the word and the other teacher in seventh grade who lifted you up with the word. And to me, I truly believe to speak greatness into children, to speak greatness into others, because it's so easy. It doesn't matter. It's easy to say something harmful to a person, and it's just as easy to say something to lift another person up. And I
Eh,
believe the earth was formed with the word, and people's futures can be formed with the word. So yeah, I'm really big on that, lifting others up. And I've just been so blessed in my career. My students here, like I said, my one student, I'm the godfather to her son, and he has been. People tell me that I'm a blessing to him, and I laugh when they tell me, and they can't even imagine unless
how much of a blessing he is to you.
because he's the greatest blessing. I've been very blessed in my life, and he is by far the greatest blessing in my life. So I just, I just hope that others can have those same types of blessings in their life. And, again, if God is leading you in a direction, accept it. Don't fight it, because there's a reason why he's doing that.
Okay, awesome, Dominic. And you spoke about those three young men, in particular. But I like that the number two person who you said he couldn't even get into college because he couldn't make the grades. And it's you mentioned, and it's so important. And I wish a lot of teachers would understand that they have brilliant students, but students are just afraid of examinations. They are just afraid of testings. When it comes on to that, they just flat out, they just can't deal with it. So I just wish that there are other ways and means that people can really, give people the opportunity that they have, to just express and just excel without putting a limitation on them that, yes, you have to answer these 100 questions and we are looking for this particular way for you to answer it. There's no right and wrong way, for us to do things. And, I wish our examination systems, would change, just to facilitate and allow others to be comfortable in their own skin and ways. So, Dominic, before you go, I mean, I can't believe we're already almost 1.5 hours. But we have some others who have joined us. We have my friend, Dolores Reynolds. She's online and she's like here almost every week to support me. Patricia is here. And I know Trisha might be somewhere there watching as well, but usually she doesn't say much. So if you're there, Trisha, big up and shout out to you. But, as I said before, Dominic, I'm a Jamaican. I'm a proud Jamaican. And so this evening, and in whatever way and however I can, try to enhance my countrymate and, other Caribbean persons and other immigrants. I'm here to try to build and enhance. And so, Dominic, I know that a lot of people, and I'm sure in your years of doing what you do, you have come across some of these persons who might have come to you because they came into this country for many reasons. They came in legally, they came in as, maybe with a student visa. Some of them came on a fiancé visa, some of them came on a work and study. But over the years, these papers have expired and they are now classified as being undocumented. Some of them are still in a financial position to finance their own way through college. However, a lot of them are afraid of making those applications because they are just afraid that the answer will be no. I had a young lady who approached me recently and she was like, Miss Marcia, I really want to go back to school. I don't have such and such and such, but I'm working. I can pay my own way. Do you know of any school that I can apply to? And I told her, really and truly, I'm not sure. But what can you say to an undocumented person seeking higher education? Is Pillar College somewhere they can come as long as they can fund their way?
Our doors are absolutely open, yes. And if you look at our classrooms, uh, you just go from campus to campus and walk from floor to floor, classroom to classroom. You will see the same type of diversity that we expect to see in heaven when we get there. All right, people of all different colors and nationalities, and uh, you know, everybody that you can imagine. That's the diversity that we have at Pillar College, not just as students, but as employees at Pillar College as well. So yes, our doors are open. We have a program, and it's not. Yeah, I know you're talking about your Jamaican brothers and sisters, but we have a program here at Pillar College because there's a lot of immigrants, Hispanic immigrants here, right, in New Jersey, in
Mhm.
America, particularly in cities like Patterson and Plainfield. We have a program at Pillar College, I mentioned earlier, we are on the cutting edge of higher education. We have a program here for Hispanic brothers and sisters where English is their second language. And when they go to a typical college, in New Jersey or any other state, right, the first thing that they have to do is take ESL courses.
Mhm.
And then when they get done with ESL, maybe 2 years or even three, they remediate them for another year or so. And then by the time they're done with their ESL and remedial courses, they have no financial aid left, right? So here we have a program called Program of Blend, where an Hispanic student, English is their second language, they can come in and they can take an associate degree completely in their native language of Spanish. And while they're doing that, they would blend some ESL courses in, and they can graduate with a regionally accredited associate degree that would transfer to any four-year college in America. So that's really, what we're all about. We're about lifting up others, giving opportunities to those individuals who aren't getting opportunities. I like to say, I like to think of myself personally because I do believe that what I do is missionary. I like to say that I'm the voice for the voiceless. I'm the voice for that student that has been told to shut up all their life, has been pushed around all their life, and has no recourse, and nobody to speak up for them. And that's what I believe that I've been placed here at Pillar College to speak up for those students, those underserved students that have never had anybody speak on their behalf before. So, to me, this is more than a job. This is my vocation. This is my calling, and I'm just so thankful for Pillar College. This has been the greatest move in my life. I've had some great stages in my life, but this is the best move that I've made.
Dominic, I just want to thank you so very much for being here tonight. I just want to give you an open floor and thank you for being that voice, for the voiceless that can speak on behalf of those many persons, maybe coming in with a different language. Language barrier is one of the major things that we face. Even to me, speaking to you now as a Jamaican, well, you're one of the better ones who can understand most of what I say, because sometimes I'm speaking to person. We still have a barrier somewhere. Some words are still not as, vocal as I'd want them to be, or, something like that. So thank you for, the capacity in which you sit and, being the negotiator, between Pillar College, the board, your president. You speak very highly of your president, and it's awesome when you can be in an environment where teamwork is dream work, and it's all about us lending a hand to make our organization the best that it can be. And it's not just a one man thing. It's you, and then it's the person above you, and the person above that one, and the person beneath you. And so it's a chain, it's a circle, and you are all as strong as that weakest link within you all. And so I thank you for being that weak link that joins the other weaker and stronger links to you to make you the force that Pillar College is. So, can I just open the floor to you, Dominic? It's where you can just speak about yourself, about what you do, about your family, anything that you want to talk about. I mean, I know you're in your PhD, whatever. I just give you 2 minutes just to wrap up um, on your side of things.
Well, yeah, I don't mind talking about myself. I'm not shy, but really, it's nothing about me. If I leave tomorrow, they'll plug somebody in at Pillar College, and God will make sure that the right person comes in. So, what I would like to talk about is what we kind of shared, and just emphasize it as we close out tonight. That everybody has been given the ability to pursue education and to pursue higher education. And if you believe that you're called to do that, do not let anybody stand in your way. Do not allow anybody to tell you what you can and cannot do. And I want to emphasize again that Pillar College is a great college, but it may not be for everybody, but there is a college out there for everybody. So whether it's Pillar College or any other college, I would just like to try to just encourage you to look into pursuing higher education. I just think that there's so many people out there that want to do it, but they don't know how. And I have a close friend who I enrolled years ago. Her name is Natalie, and she called me up a couple months ago and told me that she's starting a consulting business and wanted to get my opinion. And I said, sure. And she shared with me, and it's a college consulting business, right? And I know they're getting, in the news, they're getting a bad rap, but just doing what I'm doing tonight, right? Sharing with individuals, their options and things like PLA credits, things like financial aid, that, whether you're a part-time student or a full-time student, it counts. If you're a part-time student at a community college paying $5,000 a year, or full-time student room board tuition and fees at Harvard University paying $70,000 a year, with the federal government and the state governments, that counts as one semester, 1 year, right? And you're limited on, so many students, they go in and they take part-time and they use up all their financial aid, and then they have maybe 60 credits or 70 credits, right? And they can't finish. They don't have the money to pay for it and finish. Just those types of things. So I just believe that that we need more people out there that show our people, our brothers and sisters, how they can pursue, not just pursue, because I don't enroll students to enroll them here at Pillar College. I enroll students to graduate Pillar College. It doesn't do them any good to enroll and not finish. So my goal is, when I enroll a student, to be there for that student so they can graduate. So I just think that it's critical that that the student finds a place for them, a place that they're comfortable with, a place that they can afford, and then they gain knowledge. We talked about PLA. If they don't have a lot of money, they're not receiving a lot of financial aid. That's one way that they can get to that 120 credits, for less expenses, right? They can use PLA. So all of these things, making sure that you utilize your financial aid properly. Don't just take one course or two courses so you can get financial aid, because you're clicking off semesters and you're not going to have enough money to finish college. All of those types of things. So I just urge people that if they feel the calling to go to college and pursue higher education, God doesn't make mistakes. Do it. Take that first step, and just believe that this is the right thing for them. And if they do that, God will take care of them, and God will provide. He's provided for me all my life. I don't know where I continue to, get the money to do some of the things that I do, but every time I think, that something happens, my truck just, I got an old truck that I drive around, right? I need ball joints and things like that. Where am I going to get the money? And God provides. I just know that He'll provide, right? So, it'll be the same way with college. And again, I do not want anybody out there to think, I'm just here selling pillar college. I'm here selling higher education and what higher education can do. And whether it's pillar college or whether it's a state college or, an Ivy League college, go to college, pursue your degree, complete your degree, and allow that to take you to the next level.
Thank you so much, Dominic. It's awesome because, you're not selling pillar college. What you're selling is the possibility of higher education. And it's something, it's empowerment. Education is empowerment, and that is what we need. And so oftentimes, I have a lot of us, I have a group of friends, and I often speak to us. I'm like, we need to go back to school, we need to do this. What have we been doing? We haven't done this in over a number of years. Let's put a pack together. Let's do so and so. Let's challenge. Let's hold each other accountable, so that we know that, okay, 1 year from now, we should be doing this. What are you doing? Just hold ourselves accountable. Because when you hold yourselves accountable, or when you have someone who holds you accountable to something, it's a promise that you have made, and you have to keep that promise. Dominic, it has been an awesome 1 hour, 45 minutes, 56-second counting down. I never knew that when I walked into your office, when I made that phone call a couple of years ago, that was what, maybe 4 years ago, 5 years ago, that that would have led to us being here tonight. It has been awesome. Thank you so much. When I called you and I told you about my program, you did not hesitate. Without a bat of an eye, you said, yes, Marcia, I am on. I kind of wondered earlier on what the show would have been like. Would it be a success? But I can see that the information that we gave out this day, it has been well received. Great questions. Dolores says, I am me is also joining us. My friend Samantha, she's also an author like myself. And I don't know if you know, Dominic, that I recently became a children's book author, and my books are now available on Amazon and whatever. And Samantha says, yes, he will provide. So as, coming back to what I said when we met, some years ago, Dominic, I believe that people, we come across each other for reasons, for season, for time, but for purposes. And, sometimes we meet upon people and the purpose at that particular time might not come to fruition. But, I mean, we need to keep in touch, because guess what? If I had not been keeping in touch with you, and every now and again you would pick up the phone and call me and say, hey, Marcia, how is it going? We need people for seasons, for purpose, and for times like this. And so once again, I say thank you so very much. I do look forward, because I know you are a minister in your own right. I do look forward. We have a whole series of programs that are lined up. And I do look forward, because if the request is made, then certainly I will definitely extend another invite at some point, in which we can once again speak and, have dialogue with our Facebook land, and just to keep update and abreast of what is happening. So once again, Dominic, kudos to you, and thank you so very much. Is there any parting word from you?
No, I just want to say thank you for inviting me. I relish the opportunity, as you can probably tell, to share the word about, Pillar College and what we do here. And I just, I truly enjoy uh, lifting others up. And if anything that I've shared tonight even helps one individual, make their life better, be it going back to college or just believing in themselves, then it was an hour and 44 minutes well spent. And I appreciate the time. And I just wish your audience nothing but Godspeed. May they continue to walk in God's path and just honor God and believe that His word is the truth. Our logo here is truth in education. And it's His word. I tell people all the time how important a Christ-centered education is, right? And and how can you leave out, if you're going to have a college, right? If you're going to educate people, how can you have an educational institution and leave out the greatest teacher ever to walk the face of the earth? To leave out, you have counseling programs and psychology programs, and yet you leave out the greatest counselor ever to walk the face of the earth, Jesus Christ.
Amen.
So I thank you for being here. Thank you for the opportunity. And God bless to your
Okay, Dominic, I think I lost your vocal there in the end, but thank you so very much. As I said before, it has been a pleasure. It has been an awesome 1 hour, 45 minutes. And I do look forward at some stage, at some point, in having you back with us. Already, I'm getting yes, yes, yes for having you back on the program. So definitely, we have a date sometime in the future. And with that, I say good night. Goodbye, Facebook land. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. And then I will definitely be seeing you next week. Please stay tuned because we will be doing a special feature on Monday, the 26th, which is next week, Monday, because April is Autism Awareness Month. And as a special education person myself, having a early childhood center in Jamaica and being early childhood trained with a diploma, I couldn't let the month go by without featuring, some of our very special persons out there, persons living with special needs. So on Monday, April 26th, as I said, 7 p.m. sharp. I'm adding in just this one Monday night special just to look at special needs. So I look forward to seeing you on Monday, live, right here with me as we take out the this out of disability. So until then, see you, Facebook land. Thank you once again, Dominic, and all the blessings to you and to Pillar College.
Good night.
Good night.